Wow, I am actually gobsmacked. What a shocking episode. Hiya guys, welcome back to Wentworth Life, the YouTube channel that talks everything Wentworth. So guys, I don't know if some of you saw on one of my previous videos 2 weeks ago that I predicted that they were setting up a storyline for Who Killed Kaz, and it's actually come true. And I'm not gonna lie guys, even though I saw it come in, it was absolutely disturbing to say the least. But before we get started, on a lighter note, Frankie Doyle is back in episode 6. So not this week coming, the week after, Frankie will be back, guys. Oh, and guess what guys, people who keep asking me questions about when's Wentworth coming back to Netflix, it's going to be back on Netflix on July the 31st. And if you stick around to the end of the video guys, I will be responding to some of your comments from last week's review video. Okay, so the episode starts with all the women having a bit of a late night session in the dorm. None of them can sleep, so they're all having a cup of tea together with bickies, and it's a really nice cute scene. Boomer is telling everyone about her sexy dream about Dr. Miller, but then Narelle comes out and spoils things and tells the women about her, nightmare that she apparently had about an ex-copper, clearly trying to wind Rita up, warning her that time is ticking to kill Kaz. Mari is back in general, back with Ali. Kaz is basically playing it cool with Mari at the moment. Doesn't want to cause any ructions between her and Ali. But later on, Kaz goes to Will and basically tells him that she knows about him fucking Mari, and this has Will very worried. So straight away, Will goes to Mari and tells her that Kaz knows and that literally they're both in serious trouble. Mari goes to Kaz and basically says, what do you want? What can I do for you to keep your mouth shut? Kaz basically tells Mari that she wants her to end things with Mr. Jackson, and she also wants her to tell Ali the truth that she's been shagging a governor. Mari's like, Ali's gonna get hurt, this is gonna destroy her, and Kaz is like, I know, but it's for the best. Vera finds out that she's having a girl in her ultrasound, and this actually worries her, and she seeks advice from Dr. Miller, basically saying that, she didn't have a great childhood with her mother, and what if the same thing happens, with this baby? And Dr. Miller just basically tells her, everybody worries. And he also slipped in that his sister was worried all through her pregnancy until she gave birth to her boy, and then everything fell into place. I wonder if this is a foreshadowing. Maybe he is Mari Winter's brother. Just a thought. Dr. Miller accidentally lets slip to Jake that he is having a girl, and Jake confronts Vera, and Jake is understandably pissed off. I mean, to be fair, he is the baby's father. At the end of the day, he does have father's rights. But later on, Vera does go up to Jake and basically gives him a photo of the baby scan. So I think Vera is starting to come round to the idea that, he is the father and he does have rights. Liz. Okay, so Liz is having a conjugal visit in this episode with Vince, the sex worker. So Liz has a fabulous time, but Vince sadly ends up dying. I think he takes a bit too much Viagra and his heart gives in. Of course, Miss Miles has set this up, and it's a dodgy visit. She's faked some documents, and she's being paid by the women for this visit, and Miles is literally in serious trouble. Mr. Brody comes in and basically says that he will sort it. Just delete the CCTV, shred the paperwork, and leave it with me. I will move the body. It's quite a bit of a funny scene, I'll be honest, but unfortunately this does lead Liz to have a psychotic, violent episode. Liz ends up attacking Kaz in the cell. It's not a very nice scene. It's very upsetting. But sadly, this does happen with people with dementia. However, I'm not sure if this medication that Dr. Miller is giving Liz has something to do with it. There's something not right with Dr. Miller. I've got a feeling he's definitely up to something dodgy. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether he has any connection with Mari, or maybe he has connections with Narelle, or unless he is just part of a completely separate storyline that's going to surface later on in the season, but he's definitely up to no good. Anyway, Liz is sent to the psych ward for a little bit, and Kaz spends the night by her side, which is a very touching scene. Ruby clicks on about Narelle, who is blackmailing Rita to kill Kaz. Rita says, she's not going to kill Kaz, but she may have no option but to kill Narelle. But Kaz catches Rita just as Rita is about to shiv Narelle, and Rita ends up spilling the beans to Kaz and just basically telling her, I'm an undercover cop, I was sent in to do a job to find out who Mari's protector is. Earlier in the episode, Mari is having a visit from her solicitor guy, and she hands over a file to him, documents that she printed out in last week's episode. And she's telling the solicitor guy that this is just a sample and I have worse to show you. The solicitor guy opens the file and basically he's like, holy shit. He looks disgusted, he looks distraught. I've got a feeling whoever this protector person is, I just got the impression that she has photos of this guy doing something awful to children. I could be wrong, but that's the impression that I was getting. Anyway, Kaz was also having a visit and she noticed these documents. So after Rita tells Kaz about trying to get Mari's protector captured, Kaz clicks on that Mari might have some documents in the prison. So Kaz goes to Mari's cell, does a little hunt, and she finds the documents. She is caught by Mari, but Kaz is basically like, no wonder you've been keeping this a secret. I know who your protector is. I've also seen the email where you're storing all the documents. They have a little bit of a fight on the bed, and Kaz just basically tells Mari that you and your protector are totally fucked, and that she's going to tell Annie everything. And Mari's like, please Kaz, please. And Kaz is just like, you had your chance and now it's time for me to be the bad guy. So Kaz is on her way to spill the beans on everything and basically just to destroy Mari. But just before she gets a chance to, she is taken to Dr. Miller's office for one of her sessions. During the session, Dr. Miller is like, you seem really different today, and everything just seems to fall into place for Kaz. She tells him that, when she was a child, she was the victim, she was Karen, but now she is Kaz. She's happy, she's content, she now knows what she needs to do for the women, and so she leaves the office and she starts walking down the corridor, obviously about to spill the beans on everything about Mari and Mr. Jackson. And then all of a sudden, somebody out of nowhere jumps out with a hood up and white gloves and slashes Kaz's throat. In an absolutely shocking scene. I mean, I jumped out of my skin when this happened, and it was absolutely horrific. It was gory. They didn't hold back on this scene at all. It was quite sad. I mean, to me, it felt like you were really watching somebody die. I was reading it in an interview yesterday, actually, that Tammy actually researched how long it would take for you to actually die from having your throat slashed. And it takes approximately 60 seconds and you're dead unless you can get help. Obviously, she's on her own in the corridor and she collapses, and, she has 60 seconds. And with her blood on the floor, she starts writing out letters, and she starts with M. And then it looks like she starts to write the second letter but doesn't get a chance, as unfortunately she loses far too much blood and dies on the floor. She's either writing an I for the second letter, or she's starting to write A for Mari, possibly. I'm not sure what she was trying to write. She didn't see who sliced her throat, because the killer was, coming from behind. So maybe she was trying to write out who the protector is for Mari. I'm not too sure. Anyhow, guys, I felt really sad. Even though I knew she was going to die, it felt like we were building something up, you know, of a whodunit who's going to end up killing Kaz. It just felt like they were going down that direction, and for once I was completely right. Another interesting thing, we learn a little bit more about Jake and Sean's history together. So, Sean Brody is a gay character, and Jake is a bisexual character, because we learn that those two have history together. So that is very interesting. I've just got a feeling that just as Vera starts to let Jake involved in the baby's life, I can see Jake and Sean getting it on, and Vera's gonna catch them. Can you just imagine her face? Anyway, guys, I am going to rate this episode a 9 out of 10. Just for shock value, if anything else. So now it's time to respond to some comments. Mel Elliott, thank you for this video. Where I come from, Tunisia, there's absolutely no way to get the episodes. I don't think Rita will kill Kaz. They'd make a wonderful team, oh my god, and yet these two new men are so fishy. Well, thank you for your comment, and I would love to come to Tunisia sometime. Yes, those two men are definitely dodgy. Well, we know Mr. Brody is definitely, as he is dealing in drugs, but the new doctor, he is hiding something dark, in my opinion. And yeah, Rita and Kaz, they did make a good team, but unfortunately it is no more. Damon Cordell, I want Kaz to live. I hope they save her in some way. Also, I was hoping this season they would have changed Liz's storyline, like maybe she had a brain tumour. That would be wishful thinking, Damon, but I think if that was to happen, they jumped the shark just a little bit. I mean, it could happen, but I think there's definitely something else going on with this Dr. Miller storyline, and I also wanted Kaz to live as well, but thank you for your comment, Damon. Josh Sims, do you think everyone at Wentworth will eventually find out what happened to Ferguson and who did it? I'd like to think so, Josh. I do feel they've buried the storyline at the moment, but it does keep popping up with Derek Channing's trial at the moment, so the trial is going to be happening at some point. I wonder if we'll actually get to see some of that. But yes, I do think that the storyline could resurface at any time. Demon Knight, my girl and I loved Maxie. Do you think we will see Maxine again ever? Do you know what? I would love to see Maxine back. She was literally one of my favourite characters. From the minute she entered Wentworth, I fell in love with her. I do find it a big shame that her character left so soon after B. It would have been great to see Maxine at least for another series or two, but you know, you never know. I know the actor that played Maxine is back in Home and Away at the moment, but never say never. Lights, camera, act. Hey, just wanted to say hi from Wentworth Con. Currently sitting in the autograph line at the end of our amazing day. Had an amazing time in the round table with Pam, and Danielle is hilarious and amazing, and seeing her here really shows how perfect she always was for Queen Bee. We had so much fun. Thanks for your great videos, I always look forward to them. Oh, thank you, Lights, Camera, Act. I am so jealous that you got to go to Wentworth Con, and that you got to meet Pam and Danielle. Did they give any little spoilers, especially Pam, wink wink? Anthony Labram, I want Kaz dead. Can't stand her, I'm all for the bad guys, I'm afraid. I want Mari Winters to have a stint at being top dog. Well, Anthony, you do have your wish. Kaz is dead, and Mari is going to be top dog very soon. Joel Misado, I have a feeling Boomer will end up back in Wentworth shortly after being released, either due to her relationship with her mother, like you mentioned, or because she misses her Wentworth family, and also wants to continue being there for Liz. P.S. Having Maxine and or Frankie there for Boomer's release would be epic. Well, Frankie is back in episode 6, so I think that will be when Boomer is being released. I also think Boomer will be coming back to Wentworth not long after being released. Something will happen. Katrina, who plays Boomer, in the Wentworth Con videos, she actually revealed that one of the hardest scenes that she had to film hasn't been aired yet. It happens in season 7. It was very hard for her to film, and apparently we will see why. Just keep watching. Apparently it's still early days yet, there's a lot more to come for season 7. So thank you all for your lovely comments, guys. I absolutely adore reading your comments. If you want to be featured in next week's review comments, then please leave a comment in the description box below. Thank you for watching, guys. I will see you soon.